Hi friends, welcome back to 5 Minute Modern. My name is Cindy and today we're celebrating the start of Pride Month with a special episode about the Stonewall National Monument. We celebrate Pride Month every June in commemoration of the uprising at the Stonewall Inn. The Stonewall Inn was a gay bar in Greenwich Village opened in 1967 by the Mafia. At the time, the New York State Liquor Authority shut down bars that served gay customers. So it was common for organized crime families to operate gay bars and bribe inspectors to look the other way. However, on June 28, 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn without warning and began roughing up patrons. The police commonly harassed trans women by weaponizing a vagrancy disguise law to criminalize cross-dressing. Fed up with constant harassment, bar patrons and neighborhood residents fought back against the police. Many, such as Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, were trans women of color who faced the harshest discrimination from law enforcement. The outrage grew into a riot, which, although it was eventually quelled by police, shifted into a protest against police harassment of the LGBTQ community, which lasted for several days. The event became a galvanizing moment for the rising gay rights movement. In June of 1970, activists staged a march in commemoration of the events of Stonewall, which marked the beginning of the annual Pride festivals we have today. In 1979, co-founder of the National Gay Rights Task Force, Bruce Fowler, enlisted the help of philanthropist Peter Putnam to commission a monument to commemorate the 10th anniversary of Stonewall. They offered the commission to George Segal, an artist known for his life-size white plaster sculptures of everyday people. Beginning his practice in the 1960s, at a time when abstract expressionism was declining and pop art was ascendant, Segal is often grouped with the pop artists. But in the opinion of critic Robert Pincus-Witten, referring to Segal as a pop artist is a mistake. Pincus-Witten notes that where the pop artists were coolly removed and satirical, Segal practiced a warm and responsive realism, embracing rather than mocking. Still, Segal was not an obvious choice for the monument at Stonewall. The events at Stonewall had been catalyzed by queer and trans people of color, but Segal was a straight white male artist, most famous for making solid white sculptures. Segal himself had some reservations about accepting the project, wondering if a gay artist might be a better choice. But eventually, Segal agreed, due to his sympathy for the gay community and the common humanity he shared with them. Segal's finished work consisted of one gay and one lesbian couple, modeled on real couples the artist had met with. They were made of bronze covered with a white patina that matched the look of Segal's signature plaster works. The work was controversial both inside and outside of the gay community. Many religious Catholics opposed having a sculpture celebrating gay rights in the neighborhood, and many LGBTQ people felt the sculpture didn't accurately reflect the community. Community members and neighbors argued over the work for 12 years. It was temporarily placed in Madison, Wisconsin from 1986 to 1991, but New York City finally agreed to place the sculpture in its intended spot in Christopher Park in 1992. Segal actually made 2 editions of the work, offering the second to Los Angeles. However, when the city refused to accept it, Segal eventually donated the work to Stanford University in 1984. Personally, I really appreciate George Segal's work for the warm and humanistic quality identified by Pincus-Witten, and I find the sculpture to be among Segal's most quietly affecting pieces. Still, I ultimately agree with those in the LGBTQ community who find that the sculpture fails to fully represent our community and especially fails to represent the events of Stonewall. Perhaps Segal's sculpture is just a starting point, which can evolve to better represent the whole community, just like another important symbol at the Stonewall Monument. The pride flag. Originally designed by activist Gilbert Baker in 1978, the flag soon shifted from its original 8 colors to the 6-color version we know today, with red representing life, orange representing healing, yellow representing sunlight, green representing nature, indigo representing serenity, and violet representing spirit. Designer Daniel Quasar altered Baker's design slightly to create the Progress Pride flag to represent the trans community as well as queer people of color. And in 2021, intersex activist Valentina added the intersex symbol to create an intersex-inclusive Progress Pride flag. I know some people may find that to be a lot of changes, but I actually think the pride flag is a great example of how we can honor the original design while still allowing the work to grow and transform to better and more accurately represent the whole community. Besides, for all the changes, I think that the flag represents something quite simple. In the words of the Museum of Modern Art in New York, which holds Baker's six-stripe flag in its permanent collection, the flag represents pride, acceptance, community, diversity, and above all, love. But this flag and the Stonewall Monument itself are under attack by the Trump administration. In February of this year, the Trump administration ordered that only the U.S. flag or other congressionally or departmentally authorized flags be flown on National Park Service flagpoles like the one at Stonewall, meaning that the pride flag, that symbol of love, would not be allowed to fly at this watershed site for the LGBTQ community. This came a year after Trump ordered the Park Service to eliminate all references to trans people from Park Service websites, like the one for the Stonewall Monument, erasing the very history the monument is intended to commemorate. In April, the Trump administration settled a lawsuit filed by advocacy and historical preservation groups by agreeing to resume flying the pride flag at the Stonewall Monument. Still, the National Trust for Historic Preservation named the Stonewall Monument one of the most endangered historic places on their annual list this May. According to their site, Stonewall faces, quote, federal actions and policy changes that endanger the site's historically accurate interpretation, community representation, and educational impact, including the participation of the full range of LGBTQ+ people in the Stonewall uprising, end quote. So this Pride Month, I encourage you to remember and celebrate history, to fight against its erasure, and always to lead with love. Thanks so much for watching the video. As always, I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something new. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.